Live from the Sports Center of Connecticut, we bring you action from the New England Women's Hockey Alliance. Today it's an in-conference matchup as the Franklin Pierce Ravens come into town to take on your post-university Eagles. Good afternoon and welcome into the broadcast booth, everybody. My name is Max Stapleton, joined by our team of athletic communications directors. We are so excited to bring you through today's action. Getting a little bit of a late start to the stream today, so let's get you straight to the starting lineups for today's action. Of course, the Eagles enter today 0-6-1, 0-2-1 here in New Hop play. Meanwhile, the Ravens, they're 2-3-0 overall on the season, 2-1-0, and picked up their second victory of the year yesterday afternoon here in Shelton of Game 1 of this two-game set. So for the visitors, it's going to be their top lines on both offense and defense. Mariana Valeri, Bryn Levinson, and Bo Dean are your forward groups. Melanie Targos and Ashley Wright are your defense pairing. Meanwhile, for the Eagles, Curry, Devlin, McKavicus, Kell, and Peterson are your starting five. It's Hannah Saunders in net for the Eagles, Jill Hurdle in net for the Ravens. Same goalie matchup as it was yesterday. Both goalies looked very good in yesterday's matchup that ultimately ended in a 2-0 Franklin Pierce victory. Of course, one of those goals being an empty netter, so 1-0 for a majority of the game. It was a quick face-off win for Franklin Pierce, but the Eagles take it into their offensive zone. Jet Devlin fighting forward in the corner, so is Karis Kale. But it looks like Targo's going to come the other way, one of those big defensewomen for Franklin Pierce. Despite the score yesterday, the Eagles had a better statistical game than the Ravens in almost every stat that you count in hockey, other than the one that actually matters, and that's the one up on the scoreboard in terms of goals. So Eagles finding opportunities but not finding a way to capitalize on them yesterday. Looking to change that around today as the first whistle of the game is going to be one ruled down for offsides. Just under a minute gone here in this first period. So let's get you that goaltenders matchups for today. For the visitors, it's Jill Hurdle, the senior out of Highland Park, Illinois, playing her college hockey in New Hampshire. Sixth game of the year for her. And a .940 save percentage, good for fourth best in the conference. A 2.22 goals against average. Good for fifth best in the conference. It's her team trying to break out of their defensive zone. It goes all the way down the ice. But it looks like Kaylee Murphy's going to beat Tallulah Cameron in that race and prevent the icing. So nice play from the Ravens here to get possession of the puck in their offensive zone. Back to the point. Sistolo sends it across the boards. Cameron trying to intercept that one. Back to Murphy behind the net of Saunders. Oh, pass into the slot. Quick shot on goal, and Saunders had to make a save. Meanwhile, another try intercepted. That one by Georgia Stevens. Franklin Pierce still with the puck back to the point here. And a long shot doesn't quite reach the net. Puck loose out in front. And Maddie Noonan comes away with it for the Eagles. Now trying to break out of their own defensive end. And Stevens just going to shoot it on net as Post gets a quick line change in. So Franklin Pierce getting the first couple of true offensive opportunities. Enters their offensive zone. Marley Webster battling for it for the Eagles. So is Haley Anderson in that far corner. Lily Zoner comes away with it. Now moving left to right on your screen to Tim-Marie Grom. Grom off the boards into the offensive end of things. Post electing to go heavy on the forecheck here, and Grom forces the turnover in her own offensive zone. Looking to set up some offensive possession, but Franklin Pierce doing a good job of keeping the Eagles around the boards. Now looking to get through the neutral zone was Haley Anderson. Had her stick held for a second. You heard some of those Franklin Pierce players on the bench yell for a penalty, but not going to get one. Or by the blue line once again, this is Anderson. Has that one intercepted from her. Jody Rose with the takeaway. Now Rose dancing through neutral ice into the Franklin Pierce zone. Tries to drop it back for Tim-Marie Grom. The pass doesn't go, and instead just sends it behind the net of Hurdle. Get you some more of the numbers from yesterday's game in just a moment, as well as Hannah Saunders' season numbers. But a couple of early period opportunities. Just about 3 minutes gone here in this first. Now entering the offensive end, Anna Bernaire. Swings it around the boards. Goes over to Peyton Tully on the far end of things, and that one intercepted by Levinson. Actually, that was Addison Andre who took it away. Now Cornetta behind her own net. Tries the bank pass out to Mariana Valeri. Valeri picked up her first goal of the season yesterday. Looking to add on to that total. Her first actually career goal, I should say, as a true freshman. Oh, and it looks like she almost got tripped up there. No hand gets raised, and we keep going. Callie Peterson fighting for it, as well as Tristan Curry, that top line out there for the Eagles, but instead Valeri once again past the blue line, now stops on a dime, but has it taken away by Peyton Tully. Tully tries to send it forward, pass intended for Anna Bernaire, but it couldn't connect there, and now Callie Peterson's going to try to reset things. No can do. Bryn Levinson takes it instead. Almost into the offensive zone. Ice is slippery, and Bodine falls down there. Now back to Jet Devlin. Jet Devlin spinning around, getting harassed by a bunch of Ravens right at that crease. No real shots on goal to speak of yet for the Eagles. Once again entering the offensive zone, but having trouble actually getting those grade A scoring chances. Emma Hine chasing after it for post. So is Lila Bauer. She drops it off. Abigail Bros back to Bauer. Now let's see what the breakout play looks like for Franklin Pierce here. Really just a long dump and a long chase, but look at the speed there. Emma LaRoche showing off the wheels. Wouldn't have been an icing either way, but winning the race no matter what and gaining possession in their own offensive zone. Just about 5 minutes gone here in this first period. Passed through the slot, nobody home. But a good keep in by Targus there. Now LaRoche into the slot, and once again, pass just left a little bit long. Looked like it was intended for Kaylee Murphy. Back into the neutral zone here. Franklin Pierce just electing to reset some things in their road black, white, and red uniforms. Eagles, of course, in their new white and purple with some orange outlines. Ooh, sloppy pass there. Bros with a shot, saved by Saunders. Boy, best opportunity of the game on either side so far. Sloppy pass leads to a turnover, but Abigail Bros couldn't get past Hannah Saunders. Let's take a look at Hannah Saunders, the senior out of Ottawa, Ontario, Canada. In her sixth start so far this year, averaging .256 goals against this season and a 92.3 save percentage. She's made 143 saves this year as the Eagles netminder. That's the fourth most in the conference, so defense not necessarily helping her out a whole lot early in this season. She's had to work a whole lot despite not playing in every game. She's already in the top 5 in saves in the conference. The Eagles win that defensive zone faceoff, an area they were great in yesterday against Franklin Pierce, but they can't do anything with it. Mackenzie Grimm trying to fight a couple of Eagles in her own offensive end of things. Takes it back behind the net of Hannah Saunders, and there's a Raven down there getting harassed. It was Andre. The Eagles come away with it. Tried bank pass intended for Tim Marie Grom, left way long. Franklin Pierce going to recover it instead. Franklin Pierce coming through the neutral zone once again. It's Addison Andre. A great opportunity for Anderson. She takes the shot and Saunders makes the save. Cleared out of the zone by Tim Marie Grom, but Franklin Pierce still on the attack. Coming in, Mackenzie Grimm for Anderson. Oh, the deflection, and Saunders got a piece of that one somehow. Looked like it was Addison Andre once again right in front of the net, but couldn't get it past the brick wall of Hannah Saunders. But it's all Franklin Pierce early in this first period. Another shot on goal. That one finds the back of the net. A deflection in by Mackenzie Grimm, and it's 1-0 Ravens. For Mackenzie Grimm, her first career goal, the freshman out of Connellsville, Pennsylvania. Second point of her young career, young season. And already it looked like the Eagles were trying to snatch some momentum, but Franklin Pierce with a couple of great scoring chances, a rebound opportunity, a deflection in, and it's 1-0 in favor of the visitors. First goal yesterday didn't come till the second period. Be interesting to see if the Eagles can try to capitalize. They've only scored once here at home through 5 games now, through 3 games now, this being their 4th now in Shelton, so be interesting to see how they can turn that stat around. Meanwhile, just trying to get possession in the offensive zone is post, but it's Franklin Pierce coming the other way with it. Dump in, Karis Kell retrieves it for the Eagles, swings it all the way around the boards. It exits the post defensive zone, and Franklin Pierce will have to reset things, touch back up. Nice play there. Looking for a number. Mariana Valeri handed it off to one of her teammates, and it was a good entry into the zone, but no can do. It was Bo Dean, the top-line right winger, who entered in nicely. Now Bryn Levinson, one of the top players in the New Hall last year, and looks to be that way again this year. She has it on her stick, tries to send one into the slot, hits a couple of Eagles defenders, including Maddie Noonan. Karis Kale comes away with it. Noonan from left to right on your screen, now through neutral ice. Just going to chip it into the offensive zone. Dances around a Raven and wins the race. Boy, what a high-effort play by Maddie Noonan there. Tries to send it into the slot. Instead, it goes out to the point to Emma Hine, and Hine just didn't handle it cleanly, turned it over. A little dump and change action here for Franklin Pierce, but instead it's Abigail Brose with that high-effort play, and we've kind of seen that more from Franklin Pierce than we have from the Eagles early in this one, just winning the 50-50 races. It's really led to that first goal for them. Georgia Stevens showing some good neutralized defense. Tallulah Cameron has it taken away from her there. Melanie Targus enters the zone, leaves it for LaRoche, who takes the shot, kick save, and a beauty from Hannah Saunders. The rebound was loose, and Anna Bernaire got it out of there. Now a bank pass up the ice for Paige Piper, and Piper has a lane. Now slows it down, and once again has it taken away from her. Good defensive play there. It was Ashley Wright defensively with the poke check. Takes away any type of scoring threat that the Eagles had going. Now Post looking to reset things. Just under halfway through this first period, a 1-0 lead thanks to Mackenzie Grimm's first goal of her career as the Eagles ice that one all the way down, and we'll have a reset here. Taking a look at, well, doesn't look like our live stats are quite up yet once again. We've had trouble with that a few times this year, so no live stats to speak of as of yet. We'll try to get those to you after our media timeout, but right now it's Franklin Pierce threatening on the offense again. Now coming through, Peyton Tully, after the block she made, now going into the offensive zone, a 2-on-2 forming for the Eagles, and another great defensive play, just limiting a breakaway opportunity as the Eagles have to take a shot on goal, and it's the first save of the night for Jill Hurdle, at least by my account. Boy, we've seen the Eagles on the counterattack a few times here in this first. Go into the offensive zone with some speed. It looks like it could be a 2-on-1 or a 2-on-2, and all of a sudden some Ravens defenders come out of nowhere and put their bodies in between the puck and the net. Meanwhile, Peterson tries a shot. There's another block from Franklin Pierce. FPU trying to break out of their defensive end here. It's Haley Anderson over at that near circle. Bank pass through the defensive zone into neutral ice. Callie Peterson takes over for Post. Now Jody Rose. Rose dancing behind the net of Hurdle, sends one into the slot. Nobody home to receive the pass. Callie Peterson keeps it in. Only temporarily, though. Good defensive play. And it was Sophia Prentice knocking that one out of her own defensive zone. Gives it to Haley Anderson. It was a pretty good no-look pass from Prentice to Anderson. That found a way to connect, but ultimately not a ton of setup there as Franklin Pierce was getting in the middle of a change. And they'll reset things, try to set things up going into their offensive zone here. Mariana Valeri getting harassed and taken away by Karis Kale. Kale breakout pass to Rose. Rose trying to get around a couple of defenders along those far boards. No can do. And now Valeri going the other way, past the blue line. Going up against Zoner, takes the shot into the chest of Saunders, and we have a whistle. 9:47 left to go in this first period, and we have our first media timeout. It's a 1-0 lead for Franklin Pierce. Mackenzie Grimm's first of her career. .47 left to go in this first period. A 1-0 Franklin Pierce lead. That was Mackenzie Grimm's first of her career, and now they win their offensive zone faceoff after a lengthy tie-up. Bryn Levinson behind the net of Hannah Saunders, getting harassed by Marley Webster. Stops on a couple of dimes, turns around, now looking for a lane, and ultimately the Eagles just having trouble taking it off of Levinson's stick. Dumps it in deep. Again, a couple of Ravens, couple of Eagles there to chase after it. Tie up once again. Back behind the net is Saunders. Pass into the slot, hits the side of the net, and Lily Zoner comes away with it for the Eagles. Zoner, cross-ice pass from Makavakis. Possible 3-on-2. Takes the shot and saved by the blocker from Jill Hurdle. Boy, good poke check there. It was Maggie Cornetta who took that one away defensively and actually raced it all the way down the ice, forcing Post to reset things. Now the Eagles trying to add on to some offensive pressure. Bang pass into the zone. It's going to be an icing, actually, saying that looked like Selena Makavakis was behind the red line at neutral ice, so we'll have another reset. And looks like our live stats are up and running. And so, oh boy, 7-0. The shots on goal total in favor of Franklin Pierce over halfway through this first. Face-off-wise, it's 4-3 in favor of the visitors, and obviously no team has taken any penalties yet. So safe to say it's been all Ravens early in this first, and that's pretty much the polar opposite of what it was yesterday, where the Eagles got 15 shots on goal in the first period, 25 shots total, and somewhat slowed down for the rest of the game. It's a bit of a different story here today. All the way back in their own defensive end. This is Casey Coffey. First time we've said her name tonight. Couldn't quite get the puck out of her defensive zone. Nice keeping by Emma Hine. Eagles going into the slot here. Boy, almost a turnaround shot for Tristan Curry. A couple of Eagles go crashing down to the ice. They stay with possession as Emma Hine takes the shot. Great block by Emma LaRoche. Now coming the other way, Tallulah Cameron picks it up, getting chased down by Abigail Burrows. Emma Hine at the far end, dumps it in behind the net of Jill Hurdle, who's made a couple of nice saves early in this first period. Now looking to get out of her own defensive end. Eagles looking to go heavy on the forecheck. It was a great strength of theirs last year. Hasn't been seen as much this season. Looking to try to get that defense to create offensive opportunities. A lot of women's hockey, especially in the Newhawk Conference, is about the possession game and where the puck is on the ice. And nice long shot opportunity there. Deflects a couple of times, never hits the net. And the Eagles still looking for their first shot on goal here. Melanie Targus through neutral ice for Callie Murphy, who just dumps it into the near corner. Dump and chase game for Franklin Pierce. The Eagles win the race. Now at the far end, Karis Kale through neutral ice into the offensive zone. Takes it on net, gloved down by Jill Hurdle, and she freezes ice with 7:13 left to go in this first period. Taking a look at the stats from yesterday's game overall. Total shots in the game, it was a 30-22 lead for Post University. Penalties-wise, Franklin Pierce committed 4, the Eagles committed 2, and face-off-wise, it was a 35-19 lead for Post. So once again, every meaningful stat the Eagles won in. It's just the only one that actually matters is the one on the scoreboard when they trailed 2-0 yesterday. So looking to get right and make a comeback here today, trailing 1-0 in the first. Pass into the slot, poked away by Hurdle. Now moving right to left on your screen are the Ravens. Addison Andre with a couple of nifty handles enters the offensive zone. Leaves it for Anderson, but Anderson has it taken away. Nice play by Anna Bernaire. Now Curry looked like she was offside, and she was. Whistled down, 6:42 left in this first period. At 4 games here at home, the Eagles have only been able to score 1 goal. They were shut out yesterday. Jill Hurdle's first of the season. So the question that I just have is just how do you turn it around if you're Post, and who do you rely on? And who's going to step up for the Eagles to try to get that offense going? Because you know once you score 1, it feels like it can really happen quickly. Barberman takes the shot. That was a good effort from her, but poked aside by Jill Hurdle. Lily Zoner fires away, looking for a deflection. And boy, Jill Hurdle had to fight through a couple of screens there to see it. Did it nicely and forces another stoppage. In the last couple of minutes, we're starting to see more of that offensive attack for Post University, though. An offensive zone face-off loss for the Eagles. Good job there from Bryn Levinson, I believe. Now in that far corner, it's Courtney Swenson trying to get around the referee, and she does so well. Now along these near boards here, Mariana Valeri has that one intercepted by Lily Zoner. Now Maddie Noonan takes over in her own defensive end, but couldn't quite clear it. Bryn Levinson right there to take it away. Coming through Valeri, couldn't get by Patfield, and now she drifts through the offensive zone. Post looking for a little opportunity, passed through the slot, and I believe Hurdle got her stick on that one. Eagles still with possession, looking for a change here in their offensive end of things, back towards the blue line, and kept in by Jody Rose. Boy, that looked like it could have been a tripping. No hands get raised by my count. No play on here. Franklin Pierce looking to have a change of their own. Tallulah Cameron, nice moves into the offensive end. Couldn't get the shot away. Timmery Grom tries to fire one. Now a rebound chance. And once again, I don't think the Eagles ever hit the net there. Tested Hurdle a couple of times in the last minute, but that was more a showcase of the Franklin Pierce defenders getting their bodies in the way of the pucks. Timmery Grom still with possession, fires it into the far corner. Tristan Curry fighting for it. And ends it towards the blue line. Another shot, another block from a Franklin Pierce defender. Selena Mikavakis just subbed into the game, kept it in the offensive zone. Jody Rose fires back behind the Franklin Pierce net for Anna Bernier. Back up towards the point. Emma Hine chasing after it near us. And Hine couldn't get it past the Franklin Pierce defender once again. It was Emma LaRose. She's made a couple of great defensive plays in this game. Another one to allow Franklin Pierce to get possession of the puck with under 5 left to go in the first period. It was a long shift defensively for a couple of Ravens. Once again, the Eagles doing a very good job of just keeping the puck on that side of the ice in the Franklin Pierce defensive zone. But as I say that, of course, Targus finds a way to just lift it all the way down behind the net of Saunders. Not an icing, and we'll have a reset. Oh boy, almost a great interception from Callie Murphy. Instead, Hine handles it into the far corner, and she does have it taken away from her. Boy, a couple great moves from Grimm. A rebound chance, and it looked like Haley Anderson just couldn't get a hold of it there. Callie Murphy dancing around the blue line, looking for her lane, doesn't find it. Intercepted by Farberman. Mikavakis coming the other way now. Bank pass into the offensive zone. Farberman chasing after it, but can't get around Ashley Wright. Wright takes it away. Still a battle for it in that far corner, and ultimately Targus does have it on her stick. The Eagles find a way to keep it in, and everyone's just going to reset as Hurdle handled it behind her net. This was one of the things that you were looking for if you're an Eagles fan coming into this weekend set was the forecheck. And right there, it forces a turnover in the offensive zone. Jody Rose with an opportunity into the slot, and the Eagles couldn't get the shot away. Rebound chance, they score! Brand new game, and Riley Patfield gets the Eagles on the board, making it 1-1. For Riley Patfield, her first goal this season. The senior out of Ontario, Canada, gets the Eagles all knotted up here, and it felt like it was only a matter of time before the Eagles got on the board. The puck was over in the Franklin Pierce defensive zone for quite a while. They've had some long shifts defensively, and it was that forecheck defense turning into offense, firing pucks on net, getting a couple of rebound opportunities, and Riley Patfield finds a way to even up this game. She has it on her stick once again, trying to exit the defensive zone, slides it over to Timmery Grom, and smartly just dumps it in deep behind the net of Hurdle. Under 3 to go left in this first period with a little bit of newfound momentum for the Eagles, trying another shot, and that one deflected wide off the stick of Tristan Curry. Resetting are the Ravens at their own defensive end of things. Mariana Valeri at neutral ice has it taken away. Lily Zoner finds Farberman, who finds Curry. Curry, good moves to get into the offensive zone on sides, but doesn't lead to much there as Franklin Pierce shoots it down to the other end of the ice. First 10 minutes of this period felt like it was all Franklin Pierce, maybe even a little bit more than that. Last 5 minutes or so of this period, it's been all Eagles. And we're all knotted up at one. Hine into the offensive end, gets handled, and actually has a trickling shot on goal that ends up needing to be saved by Hurdle. Boy, what an effort by Emma Hine there, a defenseman, just finding a way to get that shot on goal. And now Riley Patfield getting announced for the goal here at the Sports Center of Connecticut. The crowd gives her some much welcomed love, I should say. And the offensive zone face-off, the tie-up, and the win for the Eagles back towards the blue line. Smartly on goal tip, and boy, a couple of great saves by Hurdle. Rebound from the blue line, and that shot never reaches the net from Emma Hine. Now coming the other way, Cornetta just lost the handle on it. And Tallulah Cameron pivots past the red line, finds Farberman on the far end, takes it, and that one misses wide. Maddie Noonan couldn't handle it along the near boards. Abigail Brose past the blue line, now looking to counterattack for the Ravens, and a beautiful poke check from Karis Kale defensively. Puck deflects up into the netting, and we'll have a defensive zone faceoff for the Eagles here. 1:27 left to go in this first period of play. Taking a look at the stats in this game. Boy, remember when we said it was 7-0, the shots on goal total? It's now 8-6 in favor of Franklin Pierce. So, boy, this game really has turned around quite quickly, and momentum has shifted quite quickly after that first Franklin Pierce goal. Pass goes all the way down the ice. Wasn't deflected by anyone, so the race for it, and Lila Bauer's going to win that one. It ends up being an icing. The Eagles will have to keep the same 5 out there. In fact, not only are the Eagles only trailing by 2 in the shots on goal department, but they're actually up by 4 in the shots total department. Trailing by 2 in the faceoffs, and obviously no penalties on either side yet. Lila Bauer kept it in for Franklin Pierce there, but her shot gets blocked. Riley Patfield for the Eagles. Through neutral ice, a little bank pass to herself. Ooh, accidentally hit the referee there for a second. He seems to be just fine. And Timmery Grom with a great job to keep it in the offensive zone, keep possession, ultimately fire one on net. Easy save for Hurdle, and out come the Ravens the other way. Almost too many women on the ice. Lucky that their defender didn't touch it there. It was Melanie Targus. Targus found Coffey, and Coffey had it taken away from her. Now coming the other way, Peterson up for Curry. Curry back around the boards. Ashley Wright takes it away for Franklin Pierce, and now the Eagles shift to the forecheck. See if they can force another turnover in their own offensive zone. Tristan Curry trying to do just that. Meanwhile, Targus with the puck for the Ravens. Having a hard time just getting around a couple of high-pressure Eagles defenders here. Finally they do, and the breakout seems to work to perfection. Now a little bit of a breakaway here for Franklin Pierce. It was Mackenzie Grimm, but a great defensive play by Lily Zoner, just forcing that one into the corner. Boy, these freshman defenders for Post University have stood out so far early in this year. And at the end of one period of play, we're all knotted up at 1 apiece. It was Mackenzie Grimm with her first of her career for Franklin Pierce, but quickly matched by Riley Patfield, first of the season for her for Post University. So don't go anywhere. We'll be back in just about 15 minutes. It's the Eagles 1 and the Ravens 1 here on Post University Women's Hockey. Welcome back into the Sports Center of Connecticut as we got a battle of the birds here today. The Eagles and Ravens have just taken the ice, getting ready for their second period of play. Over in the first, it was a 1-1 game thanks to Mackenzie Grimm's first of her career, Riley Patfield's first of her season. Both goalies looked particularly strong in that first period, but a couple of rebound chances, a deflection here and there, and we see ourselves even at 1-1. Taking a look at the stats in that first period, 8-7 the shots on goal total in favor of the Ravens, but 15-11 shots total in favor of the Eagles. 9-6, Ravens are leading in the face-off battle. Neither side took a penalty in that first period, so we'll see how both coaches have made adjustments. David Stockdale in 14th season, and Brandon Brown in his first season as interim head coach of the Eagles. And the puck is dropped. We're underway. 19:51 left to go here in the second period. Immediately goes into the Franklin Pierce defensive end. And the Eagles, once again, we saw that forecheck come alive towards the end, really the second half of the first period. Looks like here to start the second period, it's more of the same for Post University, trying to add some pressure defensively, turn some defense into offense, although Franklin Pierce does end up getting out of their defensive zone. Game started off with 7-0, the shots on goal total in favor of Franklin Pierce, but to end the period at 8-7 is a major win for Post University despite trailing in that total. Meanwhile, easy shot on goal here for Franklin Pierce, and easy save for Hannah Saunders to start her middle period of play. The Eagles going right to left in their home whites. Franklin Pierce left to right in their away blacks. Quick shot on goal, kicked down and aside by Jill Hurdle, who looked strong in that first. Meanwhile, it was Bo Dean, one of the goal scorers yesterday, trying to take it out of her own defensive end. Couldn't do so and has it on her stick once again. Fighting against a couple of Eagles. Georgia Stevens takes it away for Post University and back to the blue line. Cameron takes a shot. It deflects in. Georgia Stevens puts the Eagles on top 2-1. The first career goal for Georgia Stevens, the first career point for Georgia Stevens. And she gets on the board. The Eagles take their first lead at home here this season. Still plenty of game left, but you just felt the momentum swinging in Post University's favor towards the end of the first. It came out here in the second, heavy on the forecheck, and once again, it wasn't even the forecheck that turned into the goal there. It was just a nice offensive setup. And Georgia Stevens in a perfect position, able to deflect that one right through the 5-hole of Jill Hurdle for her first career points. Let's see if Franklin Pierce can answer back here. They immediately shoot it in deep into the Eagles' defensive end of things. Emma Hine can't quite handle it cleanly. But Riley Patfield moves right to left with a head of steam past the blue line and with some help. Trying for Tim Marie Grom, but the pass gets deflected down. Nice play by Courtney Swenson defensively to intercept that one. And puck goes all the way back down behind Hannah Saunders' net. Georgia Stevens, the true freshman from Nova Scotia, finding her first career point here in D1 hockey. Lily Zoner battling forward in that near corner. Haley Anderson in there for the Ravens. Boy, Zoner goes down to the ice hard. Pass into the slot, nobody home. And it looks like we're going to have our first penalty of the game on either side. I think it's going to go against Franklin Pierce. Indeed, it does look that way. Haley Anderson going to the box. I believe it was a slashing penalty that was called, although it could be wrong on that. So first penalty on either side today, and right after the Eagles take a 2-1 lead. Well, they're looking to get ahead here with a woman advantage. Over on the power play this year, well, the Eagles, they're 0 for 23. Actually, both these teams are yet to score on the power play this season. Tied for 6th in the conference. And immediately, Franklin Pierce able to clear the defensive zone. Meanwhile, on the penalty kill for Franklin Pierce this season, they're giving it up at 77.8% this year, so that's the 7th best in the conference, otherwise known as the second worst. The worst does belong to the Eagles, so both these teams looking to get right on the special teams. And already 30 seconds gone, the Eagles haven't had a whole lot doing in their offensive end of things. It's Hine, McCavicus, Webster, Devlin, and Tristan Curry, the 5 out there for post. This is Devlin with it on her stick, enters the offensive end, getting harassed by a bunch of Ravens, and finds Tristan Curry with the lane, takes the shot. Believe Jill Hurdle got a piece of that one, although I'm not sure. Emma Hine to McCavicus, back to Hine at the blue line. Over to the far end. Webster, Hine, now McCavicus. McCavicus fires away. Cornetta gets her body in front of it. Race for the rebound over in the near corner. Boy, Jenna Charlin took the stick out of an Eagles hand and now still fighting for it pretty much all by herself. Finally, it goes back to Hine. One-timer, and that one blocked down by Jill Hurdle. Puck loose, she covers it up. 16:05 left to go in the second, and 43 seconds left to go on the power play for post. Already have broken through in one aspect today, have the Eagles scoring for their second time and getting their first lead at home here this season. Now looking to score for the first time on the power play here today. Defensive zone win, and a nice one there for Franklin Pierce. Karis Kale unable to keep it in the offensive zone, so it trickles back out to Lily Zoner, and the Eagles with just about 30 seconds left to go, trying to push back in. Pass goes awry in neutral ice. A nice clearance there. It was Courtney Swenson who sent it all the way down to Hannah Saunders. Boy, heavy pressure, even shorthanded. That was Callie Murphy trying to force the turnover. She's still harassing an Eagle. Lily Zoner enters the offensive zone herself. Zoner drops it back. This is Noonan. Now for Kell. Kell with a wide lane takes the shot, but it misses just wide. Noah Farberman fighting for the rebound, and that's going to do it on the power play. Back to even strength, but the Eagles still have possession in their offensive zone. Jody Rose couldn't handle the puck cleanly that time. Almost a very costly turnover. A nice heads-up play by Tallulah Cameron, preventing the breakaway from possibly forming for Franklin Pierce. Meanwhile, they still have possession. Grimm fires into the slot. Nobody home to collect the pass. Instead, it was intercepted by Tully. Tully fires it across the ice. Trickles all the way back into the FPU zone, and they'll reset things and get a platoon swap in. Oh, good long up ice pass here. Quick shot off the stick of Addison Andre. Saunders was ready for it. Bernaire fighting for the rebound, doesn't quite get control. Grimm passed through the crease of Hannah Saunders, nobody to receive it. Casey Coffey trying to control it down in that far corner off the side of the net. Bernaire can't quite clear the defensive zone, but we do have a whistle here. Hand was raised. I think, yeah, it looks like the net came undone from Hannah Saunders, so bit of a lucky whistle there for Post University with 14:25 left to go in this middle period. And it looks like everything's settled up, so faceoff's going to come to Hannah Saunders' left. And after a tie-up, still nobody declared the victor. Finally, the Eagles do come away with it, and they end up getting it past the blue line. Looked like Paige Piper was just trying to get that one a little bit farther forward. Couldn't get it past Lila Bauer. And now Levinson comes the other way. Bank pass farther into the offensive end. Racing after it, Karis Kale. And after that, a rebound chance. It was Addison Andre once again, had a great opportunity. And once again, a whistle. Says it's going to be played with a high stick, so we'll have another face-off here. Taking a look at some of the stats here in the second period. 3-1, the shots on goal total. 7-1, the just total shot total between the two teams here in the second. And the face-off circle, it's 3-2 in favor of Franklin Pierce. So the Ravens still holding an advantage in that category. Like Coach Brandon Brown wants some kind of explanation from the refs for something, one or the other. Not sure if the refs are allowing them to change their lines. Either way, looks like both sides settled up. Getting squared to the left of Hannah Saunders. Face-off is dropped, and FPU comes away with it. For the Ravens, this is Bo Dean, one of the top goal scorers in all the Newha, one of the top point getters in the Newha. Ashley Wright fires from the blue line. Rebound chance, no good. Oh boy, it looked like the Ravens had 6 feet of open net to shoot at. And I believe it went off the post. Boy, Hannah Saunders just couldn't see the puck, took a funky rebound behind her net, went around. Ravens going to be whistled down for offsides there. It took a funky rebound. I don't think Saunders was expecting it to go all the way to her right. And she was looking towards her left. Meanwhile, it went on to a Ravens stick. I was looking for a number. I believe it was Ashley Wright, but I'm not positive on it. Looked like the Ravens had a great opportunity to tie the game. Instead, it remains a one-goal post lead. Ashley Wright has it on her stick right now. Just tries to chip it into the offensive zone, but it gets knocked down by Tristan Curry. And the Eagles try to go the other way with it. Pass left way too long, and that'll be an easy icing call for the referees. And despite the loss yesterday for Post University, there were a lot of positives to take away from it. I think you can say the same thing today, obviously, with the Eagles winning 2-1. The Eagles coming into this game only averaging 0.4 goals per game, the worst in the conference. So the fact that they already have 2 here is a good sign. Their first multi-goal game of the season as a team. Now looking to just get things out of the defensive end, they do, but Targus resets for the Ravens, at least tries to. Gets it to LaRoche, and now Murphy through neutral ice, sends it into the far corner. Lily Zoner to chase after it for Post, trying to reset for her own squad here. Meanwhile, Franklin Pierce gets a change in. Kept in by the Ravens, and a quick shot off the stick of Alexandria Sistola. Hannah Saunders had to make the easy save, kicked into the corner, and now the fight for it. Maddie Noonan with a good physical play. That was the word on yesterday's game as well. It was a physical game between these two teams, and they're seeing that show true today. Shot gets blocked down. Nice play by Tristan Curry. Once again, the Eagles left winger on her first line, finding a way to put her body in front of the puck, and that's what it takes to win games in Division I hockey, that's for sure. Meanwhile, a bit of a sloppy turnover there from Zoner. The shot doesn't quite go. Left a little bit wide off the stick of Mackenzie Grimm. Meanwhile, Maddie Noonan tries to bank pass it to herself. Gets handled up by Cornetta, drops it back for Bodine. Back to Grimm over at neutral ice. Gets met right at the red line by an Eagles defender. Now Farberman coming the other way. Cross ice pass. Ruby Mitchell tries one into the slot. Kick saved and kicked out of danger by Jill Hurdle. Now coming the other way. 1-on-2, possible 2-on-2 forming. A little bit of an overreach from an Eagles defender, but it works out nevertheless. Great play that time from Karis Kale. The Eagles find a way to get it past the blue line once again, and looks like at least 3, if not 4, of their players are going to try to get off the ice instead. It'll be an icing, so those 5 players will have to stay right back on. 11:31 left to go in this second period. It's been all Post University in the first 9 or so. Franklin Pierce showing some signs of life in the last maybe, we'll say 90 seconds or so. They win their offensive zone face-off, although get met by an Eagles defender, does Courtney Swenson. Noah Farberman along these near boards. Gets it out of the zone. Cornetta tries to reset things to Swenson. After a tie-up, Farberman just chips it into her offensive end. Eagles wanted a platoon swap for quite a while, and they get it that time. A little dump and change action. Cameron dumps it right back in. See if the Eagles transition over to the forecheck here. Now have to play the back check. A beautiful pass up the ice. Andre with the shot, and Saunders makes the save. Boy, how did that end up happening? It looked like the Ravens caught the Eagles in a bit of a change. Still have possession. Another long shot deflects up and over the netting of Hannah Saunders. Out of play with 10:43 left to go. Boy, Addison Andre cherry picking, so to speak, right at the blue line. It was a beautiful up ice pass. Andre received it, and basically it was her against Saunders, and Saunders found a way to cover up the 5-hole. Defensive zone face-off loss for the Eagles. Quick shot gets blocked down by Tim Marie Grom. Emma Hine collects the rebound behind her own net, looking for a way out of her zone. Riley Patfield scored the first goal of the game for the Eagles today, trying to pick up the sloppy pass, does so, fires it on net smartly, and forces Jill Hurdle just to cover it up quickly, which will lead to the first offensive zone face-off the Eagles have had in quite a while. Of course, with the way it always works with the broadcasters, Jinx, as soon as I said it was all Post University here in the second, it was all FPU for a solid couple of minutes. So Finally, post back on this end of the ice. Let's see what they can do with it. It's going to be Devlin versus Valeri, actually Devlin versus Braz in the face-off circle, and Abigail Bros wins it. Casey Coffey behind her own net gets met by Jet Devlin. Devlin with a nice physical play, almost forces the turnover. Instead, it's Callie Murphy getting around a defender, now with a head of steam. Past the blue line, tries the bank pass to herself, but Lily Zoner almost wins that race. Marley Webster instead couldn't clear the zone, intercepted by Emma LaRoche. Now a battle for it in this near corner. 2 Ravens, 2 Eagles in there. Back to the blue line, Ashley Wright fires away, blocked down by a couple of skaters, rebound chance, and Saunders covers it up. Under 10 minutes left to go here in this middle period. It's the Eagles with their first lead at home this season as they're up 2-1. Again at the Sports Center of Connecticut here in Shelton. 2-1 posts out in front of Franklin Pierce after Georgia Stevens' first goal of her career. Also a couple of firsts for this season. The assists coming to Noah Farberman and Tallulah Cameron. Farberman, of course, the experienced vet. Going to be relied upon vet on this Eagles team this year, getting on the board with her first assist of the season, and then Tallulah Cameron, the true freshman, getting her first points of her career. So with 9:32 left to go here in the second period, it's the Eagles trying to add on to their 1-goal lead. Taking a look at the stats in the game, shots on goal, it's 13-11 in favor of Franklin Pierce. And the face-off battle, it's Franklin Pierce doubling the Eagles 18-9, well 18-10 after that latest win for Post University. So despite trailing in this game, similar story to yesterday, just inversed. Despite trailing in the game, there's a lot to like if you're a Ravens fan, and if you're watching this from the Franklin Pierce side of things, just looking to try to get past Hannah Saunders, who has looked stronger and stronger as this season goes along on top of this post defense. Karis Kale through the neutral zone, looking for Timmery Grom. Grom tipped it forward, so no icing will be called. Don't know if it ever would have reached there anyway. Instead, Franklin Pierce trying to get it out of their defensive end. Callie Peterson getting harassed by Callie Murphy. A couple of Callies going at one another. Alexandra Sistolo looked to keep it in, couldn't do so cleanly. Instead turned it over, and now Noah Farberman chasing after the cross-ice pass. Sistolo once again. Over for Anderson. Haley Anderson just dumps it in deep. Mackenzie Grimm couldn't win that race, and right now it's a little bit of this dump and chase game going on. The Ravens having a hard time entering the zone on sides. The Eagles neutralized to really that blue line defensive presence has been showing up here in the second period. That was one of the strengths, you could say, through their winless first 7 games. Tallulah Cameron finds Noah Farberman, and once again getting tied up in her own defensive end on those far corner. Puck trickles back out to Anderson right at the blue line, takes the shot, knocked down by Saunders. Rebound is loose, and Saunders covers it up. Boy, scary moments if you're an Eagles fan. Looked like the Ravens were just kind of lulling Post University to sleep there in that far corner. Finally, a little trickle of the puck towards the blue line, and Anderson fired one from far away. Saunders had to fight through a couple of screens as the netminder and knock it down. Clean win for the Ravens on the faceoff. Kudos to Bryn Levinson. Not just one of the best point getters, but a great faceoff woman as well. Shot there didn't go. Don't know if it ever hit the net, actually. Believe it hit a couple of post defenders out in front of Saunders. Now the Eagles looking to get out of their zone. But once again, it gets intercepted by Franklin Pierce right at neutral ice. Maggie Cornetta to reset things. And with 7:30 left to go, let's see if Franklin Pierce can find a way to garner some momentum of their own. It feels like it's really shifted ever since that second goal for Post University. Courtney Swenson makes a woman miss. Throws it high up into the air where the Eagles will chase after it. Marley Webster sends it around the boards, but it's read nicely by a couple of Ravens defenders, including Bryn Levinson. Finds her teammate. Quick shot from a tough angle. Easy save for Saunders. And a couple of Ravens, I believe it was Sophia Prentice. Yes, it was indeed Prentice who went flying towards the net of Saunders. And kudos to Jet Devlin protecting her goalie. Not the biggest body out there as Devlin, the starting center for Post University, but she got her body in the way of a much bigger Raven and was able to protect her goalie there, and it just looked like a big collision right in front of Saunders. Either way, face up to her right. Eagles come away with the victory this time. Tristan Curry, only facing Bauer one-on-one, decides to send it across the ice. Curry has it on her stick once again. Leaves it for Mikavakis. Haven't said Selena Mikavakis' name too much so far today. One of the post leaders in terms of experience and points. Actually, the leading point getter career-wise for Post University. Emma LaRoche getting harassed by Emma Hine. And Hine does end up winning that battle all the way back in her own defensive zone, but only temporarily. Abigail Brose took it away from her. Hine fighting for it once again. And Jet Devlin and Emma Hine with a huge hit on Ashley Wright. Looking around, a referee does have his hand raised, so it looks like that is going to be a penalty. Jill Hurdle goes to the bench, extra attacker on the delayed penalty call for Franklin Pierce as they're getting ready for their first power play of the game. Boy, Emma Hine laid the body into Ashley Wright right in front of the camera crew here at the rinks in Shelton. So we'll have our first power play coming up for Franklin Pierce with just under 6 minutes left to go in this second period of play. Emma Hine, 2 minutes for body checking. I think the Eagles might be a little lucky it's not a major or at least a double minor. No conversation going on. So Eagles win their own defensive zone faceoff on a key penalty kill. Their first of the game, able to get it outside the blue line, but not all the way down the ice. And resetting things for the Ravens is Maggie Cornetta. Leaves it for Targus. Targus looking for a lane up the middle of the ice and finds Bo Dean with a head of steam. Dean has it taken away from her, but not taken away from her team. Levinson now, one of the best power play just skaters in the entire conference. Targus now to the far side. Boy, look at the puck movement here from Franklin Pierce. A chance in the slot, no can do. Shot never gets off the stick of a skater and trickles all the way around the boards. The Ravens still have possession with it in the offensive zone. Over here, this is Cornetta. She fires away. Blocker down by Saunders. The rebound chance hits a couple of Eagles defenders and goes all the way out of their own defensive zone. Saunders lost her stick there for a quick minute, but found a way to recover it and make the save. Just over a minute left on the first power play of the game. Of course, the Ravens and the Eagles are yet to score on the season with a woman advantage. Callie Peterson gets hit hard into the boards by Valeri. And the Ravens retain possession in their offensive end. Cornetta down low for Levinson, tries a tough angle backhanded shot, easily stopped aside by Saunders. And right now the Eagles control the rebound. Tim-Marie Grom smartly sends it all the way down the ice, actually on net. That's going to take some more time off the power play. Under 5 left to go in this middle period. Eagles looking to cling on to their 2-1 lead. 30 seconds left just about on the power play for Franklin Pearson. Looks like they're going to have to reset at neutral ice. Handling it, Callie Murphy. Going up against Maddie Noonan. Finds a way to enter the offensive zone and swings it all the way around the boards. Over on the far end, Ashley Wright was able to keep it in. Now sending it across the ice for Andre. Andre looking for a lane, couldn't find Anderson cleanly. Turns it over to Lula Cameron with it on her stick. And we're back to even strength here between these two teams. Both teams 0 for 1 on the power play, and at least by my account, not the official count, I believe both teams got 2 shots on goal on each of their women advantages. So, bit of a costly icing right there as the Eagles and most of that penalty kill unit still out on the ice for Post University. We'll have to stay out on the ice with some tired legs here. Meanwhile, Coach Stockdale in his 14th season electing to get a fresh 5 out there for Franklin Pierce University, and under 4 minutes left to go in the second. Face off to the right of Hannah Saunders, and it goes really Franklin Pierce's way, but the Eagles come away with the victory, morally at least. And they dump it back into the offensive zone where the Franklin Pierce will reset. Levinson along these near boards looking to swing it up the ice for Annenson. We haven't said her name too many times today. She was a healthy scratch yesterday, and Shayna Perry got her first career start as a true freshman for Franklin Pierce in yesterday's game. Today it's Annenson back in there. Has it on her stick right now. Looking at a pass in the middle of the ice, but couldn't quite connect it with Bryn Levinson. Instead, the Eagles look to come the other way, and Marley Webster dumps it into the offensive zone. Chasing after it, Jenna Charlin. Once again, trying to swing it up the ice and create a breakout play are the Ravens, but Karis Kale was there to intercept it for the good guys, and now going into her offensive zone. Tried a little bank pass to herself, and with a head of steam, almost made it work out, but not quite, says a Ravens defender. Webster, bank pass up the ice. Karis Kale once again enters the O-zone onside. Now Farberman battling for it, finds it on her stick, takes the tough angled shot, actually hit the ankle, I believe, of Sistolo, and never quite hit the net. 2:23 to go, and the Ravens coming left to right. Almost got past the blue line, but couldn't quite get around Emma Hine. Could Haley Anderson. Now entering the offensive zone, it's Riley Patfield. Couldn't handle that pass cleanly. Cornetta trying to get around her, dumps it off for Anderson. Back behind the net at Jill Hurdle, and the Ravens looking to set up a breakout. Little chip pass up the ice, barely connects. Andre just moves it farther forward. And no icing going to be called here. Somebody tipped it, and that's going to be a penalty. Boy, Tim-Marie Grom goes hard down into the boards, and she's still down on the ice. Delayed penalty call. Hannah Saunders goes to the bench. Now the Ravens touch up, and looks like, I believe that's Tim-Marie Grom down there. Just you hate to see this. Going to take a break here on Post University Women's Hockey. Hopefully Tim-Marie Grom is all right. It's the Eagles going on their second power play with a 2-1 lead when we get back. Tim-Marie Grom able to skate off to the bench under her own power. Clearly a bit frustrated as she was getting back to the bench. And looks like some of the players on the Post bench are signaling for maybe the ambulance crew that is here to come out there, or at least the paramedic, I believe is the better way to put it. You just hate to see that. Doesn't look like he's going to quite come out, I don't believe. Some of them were signaling for him to come out. Some of them were signaling no, stay over there. And it looks like he is going to stay over there. Again, Tim-Marie Grom was able to get off the ice under her own power. It looked like she was grabbing her wrist or her arm. Don't want to speculate. Either way, it's the second power play of the game for Post. And, of course, we hope that Tim-Marie Grom is doing okay. See if the Eagles can get their third goal of the game for the first time this season. 1:26 left to go in the second. If they don't score on this power play, obviously they'll start the third with a woman advantage. Jet Devlin getting harassed down. A beautiful play by Callie Murphy to poke check that away and just clear it all the way down the ice where Emma Hine is going to collect it. 1:10 left to go in this period. Aggressive play shorthanded from Franklin Pierce, but the Eagles break out of their zone right to left. Emma Hine past the blue line, looking for a lane to pass to, and throws it over to Webster back at the blue line. Webster did a beautiful job keeping that one in. Back to Emma Hine, takes the shot, deflects a couple of times, and bounces up over the net of Jill Hurdle, out of danger for Franklin Pierce. Across the ice, Selena Mikavakis dancing around, fires one, and that one deflected a couple of times, never hit the net. Emma Hine kept it in, nicely done by her to get it around Kaylee Murphy, only temporarily. Cornetta takes it away, and Emma Hine takes it right back. Boy, how many times have we said Hine's name both defensively and offensively? The very good defensewoman for Post University and one of the new faces for the Eagles this year. Boy, beautiful move by Karis Kell, enters the offensive zone. Mikavakis fires a shot and misses it just over the net. Under 10 seconds left to go in the second period. One last push for the Eagles if they can find it. Jody Rose back towards the blue line with 2 seconds. One last opportunity. The backhanded shot never hits the net, and that will do it here in the second period. The Eagles take a 2-1 lead over Franklin Pierce thanks to Georgia Stevens' first goal of her career. Farberman and Cameron getting the apples on that one as well. And of course, we got to just hope the best for Timmerie Grom kind of towards the end of that period, getting off the ice under her own power, but a bit frustrated at the injury and, of course, the penalty. That was ultimately assessed to Jenna Charland on the play. We'll have Post University on the power play to start the third period. We're actually looking now, and you can see Timmerie Grom getting checked out by the athletic trainer on the post bench still. So good to see that the ambulance or the paramedic crew, wasn't involved there for sure. Hopefully a good sign for the Eagles moving forward. So either way, it's a 2-1 Eagles lead heading into the third and possibly final period of play. Eagles looking for their first victory of the season in 15 minutes when we get back here on Post University Women's Hockey. Welcome back into the Sports Center of Connecticut as we're just about a minute away from this third and final period of play between the Franklin Pierce Ravens and your Post University Eagles. Boy, what a day it has been so far for the Eagles here at home. For the first time this season, they've scored multiple goals in a game, and they're leading for the first time this season as well. So looking to hold on to that narrow 2-1 lead as we enter this third and final period. Let's take a look at the stats overall in the game. It's 15-12, the shots on goal total in favor of the visiting Franklin Pierce Ravens. 32-25 total shots in favor of Franklin Pierce. 20-11, your face-off total, once again in favor of the visitors. Block shots, 8 blocks for Post University, 5 blocks for Franklin Pierce. And both teams have been in the penalty box one time, although Franklin Pierce is in the penalty box for a second time as we start this third period. 22 more seconds on the power play for the Eagles. They win the neutralized face-off, and Karis Kale banks it into herself, slips down on the brand new Zamboni ice here at the Sports Center of Connecticut. And the Eagles have possession of their offensive zone. Trying to clear it is Franklin Pierce. Karis Kale couldn't keep it in. Just under 5 seconds left to go, and that's going to do it as we're back to even strength between these two teams and really officially underway here in the third. Ooh, good intention on the cross-ice pass, but coming out of the penalty box here, not exactly getting the change from the penalty box, was Bo Dean. Tough angled shot, hits the side of the net. And the Eagles collect the rebound. Farberman gets it past the blue line, and Franklin Pierce going to reset things at neutral ice. Looked like it might have been offsides. No hand gets raised, and play on here. Bo Dean harassing Karis Kale. Eagles trying to exit their own zone. Can't quite do so. Abigail Brose couldn't handle it right in front of Hannah Saunders in the Eagles' net. Still in that far corner, Brose finds Bo Dean. Dean stick handling into the slot, gets it taken away from her. And Tristan Curry lifts it up and out of danger. Just about a minute gone here in this third period. Eagles looking to hold on to their 2-1 lead. It was Georgia Stevens with her first career goal. Riley Patfield with her first goal in 58 games, going all the way back to early in that, or actually to the first period, I should say. Back behind the net, a Jill Hurdle. This is Franklin Pierce trying to break out of the defensive zone. Good job by Emma Hine keeping the puck in. We've said her name so many times through the first two periods of play, making plays both offensively and defensively. For a second-line defender, it's pretty rare to see that much offensive prowess. Tallulah Cameron with a great play to prevent a breakaway for Franklin Pierce. Puck trickles all the way down into the near corner behind Jill Hurdle. And the Ravens reset things once again. Ooh, Emma Hine with a hard pass actually knocks a defender's stick out of her hands. It's Emma LaRoche who has to go back to the bench, and the Ravens get a quick change in. I'm taking a look to see the status of Timmerie Grom, but I haven't seen her out on the ice yet, so hopefully she's okay. Meanwhile, the Eagles, Riley Patfield looks for one in the slot, tries the rebound chance, and again, nobody home to take the shot in front of Hurdle. There's another try. Marley Webster's shot gets deflected into the boards at the near corner. Another try into the slot. Again, nobody there for Post University to receive the pass. Now coming the other way. Callie Murphy dances around the blue line, looking for a lane, gets around zoner, takes the shot right into the chest of Hannah Saunders. Boy, Callie Murphy, a couple of beautiful dekes into the offensive zone of Franklin Pierce and forces Hannah Saunders to make a fairly simple save. 17-18 left to go in this third period. Both teams getting a platoon swap as this faceoff will come to the right of the Eagles netminder, looking for her first win, the team's first win of the season. Still in their offensive zone is Franklin Pierce, just deciding to send the puck in deep. Georgia Stevens trying to take it out and is able to do so, but for how long is the question. Targus takes it right back in. Looking for a lane to pass to, getting defended by Webster, finds Anderson, backhanded shot, kicked away by Hannah Saunders. Webster controls the rebound, only temporarily, as Farberman with a very smart play lifts it up and out of danger, but faceoff still going to be in the Eagles' defensive zone. Lots of action early in this third period, you can tell. Franklin Pierce coming out with a little bit of a chip on their shoulders, so to speak. face-off win for the Ravens in their offensive zone. Boy, tried the long shot. Looked like Anderson was looking for a deflection, but deflected it actually away from the net. Eagles control the rebound. Back at neutral ice. Targus can't quite handle the loose puck. Jet Devlin does instead. Takes the shot. Blocker down by Jill Hurdle. And the rebound ends up going the Ravens' way, although Stevenson takes control. Excuse me, that's actually Peterson who takes control at neutral ice. Now Karis Kale, bank pass into the offensive zone. Eagles have to touch up on sides, and they do, while the Ravens take over. Actually, Eagles were never on sides. So that's going to be a delayed offsides call with 16:05 to go in this third period. Once again, our live stats are having some trouble, so we're trying to get some of those numbers up for you in the third, and we'll get that for you in just a quick moment. Just under 4 gone here in the third, and both teams, different 5 out there. Jody Rose wins the faceoff for the Eagles. Pass into the slot. Boy, beautiful setup. And it looked like it was Mariana Valeri who just fanned on the shot. Back into their offensive zone goes Post University. Emma Hine tried the attempt there from the blue line and got deflected into that far corner. Jody Rose handles it, tries the backhanded attempt, once again goes to her and forces Jill Hurdle to make a save. Boy, battle forward into that far corner. Nice play defensively that time. That was Maggie Cornetta who laid a body into an Eagle and forced the turnover for the Ravens. Now moving right to left. Bodine with a head of steam getting around a couple of Eagles. The rebound chance deflects up and through the crease of Hannah Saunders, but no danger there as it never hits the net. Bros still with possession. Looking for a lane to pass to. Takes the shot, deflects a couple of times, somehow stays out of the net. Boy, off the shoulder of Saunders, off the post, off the shoulder of Saunders again, and out of danger for the Eagles. Still with possession, FPU, another attempt here. That one misses wide of the netting. Shot came off the stick of Alexandria Sistolo. Mariana Valeri now tries to keep it in for Franklin Pierce. Good job along these near boards. It was Jenna Charlin who kept it in instead. FPU goes off for a change, looking for a deflection, goes wide of the net. Good to see Timmery Grom back out on the ice for the Eagles as that goes into the slot. A little backhanded attempt, easily stopped by Hannah Saunders on a beautiful positioning save. LaRoche with the puck, looking for someone to pass to behind the net of Saunders, finds Murphy. Murphy's shot didn't go. The rebound chance, backhanded try. Puck is still loose in the crease of Saunders. Nobody's gotten it off as of yet, and the puck trickles back behind the netting. Boy, call it 2 to 3 saves for Hannah Saunders as it's still loose out in front, and Saunders finally dives on top of it. Boy, Franklin Pierce with tons of pressure to kick off this third period, but it's Hannah Saunders staying strong in net for the Eagles as she looks to be checking something out on her hand in the crease. Franklin Pierce just pouring on some of that offensive pressure here to kick off their third period, but Hannah Saunders looks to be very, very strong here in the third, although you hope she's doing all right. Seemed to have something going on with her hand. Maybe a stick hit the blocker or the glove hard. Either way, face-off comes to her, right? And Franklin Pierce wins that one, but Maddie Noonan takes over possession. Tips it forward to Webster, who smartly just sends it all the way down the ice. Georgia Stevens looking to win the race for post, and she does, prevents the icing, and that's a huge play by the true freshman for the Eagles. Not only does it allow the Eagles to get a change in, but keeps possession in the offensive zone. Lily Zoner looking for a deflection. Instead, it went just wide of the netting. Rebound is loose, and it goes the Ravens' way. Through neutral ice, Emma LaRoche just going to send it on net, easily stopped by Saunders. And Lily Zoner to reset and try to break out for post. Stevens pass through neutral ice. Referees say it was deflected, so no icing called on the Eagles. 7 minutes gone here in this third period. Eagles still up 2-1, but it's been all Franklin Pierce here in the third. Mikavakis couldn't handle the pass, left a little bit long for her. Instead, Addison Andre takes over, but has it taken away from her. Back at neutral ice, this is Andre once again, just dumps it in deep as Franklin Pierce has to touch up. Now Peterson Sends it to Curry, and Curry finds Makevikas. Makevikas into the offensive zone. Pass just left a little bit long, went straight to a Ravens defender, but once again, Makevikas in a good spot here. Almost had it taken away. Instead, Tristan Curry takes over. Curry fighting against a couple of Ravens. Beautiful defensive play. That was Courtney Swenson who poke-checked that one out of her own defensive end. Now Franklin Pierce resets. Boy, dangerous pass there. Jet Devlin almost able to intercept it. Instead, it goes back to Targus, who goes across the ice. Mackenzie Grimm couldn't handle it cleanly. Now Riley Patfield past the blue line. Dump and chase action here for Post. Targus picks it up for the opposition. And the Eagles able to keep it in the offensive zone, but only temporarily. Coming the other way now, and a 3-on-2 forming for FPU. Bodine with the shot, and she misses just up and above the netting. Boy, looked like it was a great opportunity and had a couple of people to pass to, but Dean took it and just missed the net. Valeri fires away, stopped down and covered up by Hannah Saunders once again. 11:46 left to go here in this third period. Eagles truly clinging on to that 2-1 lead. Face-off coming to the right of Hannah Saunders, and we'll do it one more time. Looks like it's Bryn Levinson in there for Franklin Pierce. Maddie Noonan, the center for the Eagles, and Noonan takes the face-off and wins it for Post University. Tallulah Cameron in that far corner. Not a great breakout pass there. Levinson intercepts it, but couldn't quite handle it cleanly. Puck trickles back behind the netting of Saunders. Race for it, Hine and Valeri. And Valeri wins it. Actually, Levinson wins the race coming out of nowhere. And Franklin Pierce looks to retain offensive possession, although a couple of shots and neither one hit the net. Puck goes up and out of play into the bench of the Eagles once again. 11:18 left to go in this third. Now, through two periods of play, it was 15-12 the shots on goal total, but here in the third, still a mystery. No one has gotten through in the goal column yet. Of course, Eagles started off this period on the power play. And both sides still 0 for on the season in that category. A little bit of a false start here in the defensive zone faceoff. Looks like Jet Devlin's going to be forced out of the circle. Tristan Curry steps in instead. It's Abigail Burrows in there for Franklin Pierce. Curry wins it for the Eagles. Seem to be doing very well in that number tonight. Very much so here in this third period. Makevikas chasing after it. Boy, a hard collision in the offensive zone for Post University. And it looks like the men's team is here to support the women's team, and they're making some noise over in that O end. Long shot for Lily Zoner, and it gets gloved down that time. Jill Hurdle once again standing strong in her crease. Boy, shout out the men's team. Looks like they're over in the offensive side, over in the offensive zone for Post University on the sideline. Might be able to get a good shot of them during our next whistle, but they're here making noise, cheering on the woman. Face-off win for Franklin Pierce and Abigail Burrows in her defensive zone. Ooh, puck hits the referee on its way out and eventually does exit the zone for the Ravens, but Lily Zoner takes over once again for the Eagles and kind of just dancing around, looking for a way to enter the offensive zone. Makevikas sends it in deep. Ashley Wright chasing after it for FPU. Targus finds LaRoche. And it goes to Murphy once again. Murphy's been great offensively tonight, and one of the leaders on this team offensively all year long. Sent it across the ice, but the pass couldn't go, and out comes Jody Rose for Post University. Rose with a little 2-on-3 forming, but it quickly dissipates as the Eagles go off for a change. Peyton Tully collides hard with a Ravens defender. Boy, that was Maggie Cornetta, it looks like, in that near corner. Making a stand-up defensive play, but the Eagles still with possession. Callie Peterson looking for a lane to pass to, decides to just take it up the near boards. Now a tie-up in the near corner. No one's quite come away with it yet. Peterson in there, and puck trickles out to Jody Rose, who takes a shot. Looking for a deflection, never found one. Ends up going into that far corner. Now out the other way, FPU. And Abigail Burrows smartly, after needing a change, just takes it past the red line and dumps it in. or Franklin Pierce can get a fresh 5 out there. Callie Peterson has it herself right now. Getting harassed by Haley Anderson, is not able to get past Anderson, and she gets bodied into the boards hard right in front of the Franklin Pierce bench, and out come the Ravens the other way. Maddie Noonan trying to answer back, and she does defensively, holding Tristan Curry into that near corner. Emma Hine, beautiful move to get around a Franklin Pierce defender. Now into the offensive zone, leaves it for her teammate Farberman's shot, and I believe Hurdle got a piece of that one, deflects it into the corner. Farberman gets tripped up along the near corner, the hand gets raised, and Post is going to go on their 3rd power play of the game. Boy, listen to this crowd. Eagles fans making some noise here at the rinks in Shelton as we reach our under 10-minute media timeout. It's the Eagles. Well, actually, I don't want to say that yet. It looks like Franklin Pierce is heading back onto the ice. And no, we are going to have our media timeout. 8:58 left to go in the 3rd. Post looking to add on to their 2-1 lead, going on the power play when we come back. Eagles going on their 3rd power play of the game. Penalty assessed to Lila Bauer on the body checking, and Post wins that offensive zone faceoff, I should say. Now battle forward in that far corner. Selena Mikavakis gets hit very hard into the boards. You can see Marley Webster, one of her teammates, looking for the penalty, doesn't get called. Instead, Emma Hine takes the shot from far distance, and I believe Hurdle got that down with her mask. Rebound is still loose. FPU looking to clear the defensive zone, and they do. Emma Hine handles it at neutral ice and sends it across the ice for Mikavakis. Gets met by Targus and has to send it back into her own defensive zone where Marley Webster will race after it. Hine circles around and has it taken away from her. What a play from Callie Murphy, and Hine bodies her down to the ice. Boy, it looked more like Murphy spun into Hine. Hine was just kind of in the right place at the right time there. I think it's the right call from the referees. No penalty assessed. But still short-handed, and Franklin Pierce has a lot of the possession here. Smartly just send it back behind the net of Saunders, and now the power play has ticked under a minute to go here for Post University. On the season, the Eagles 0 for 25, including today on the power play. Looking to prevent it from being 0 for 26. And a hand gets raised. We might have another penalty coming up here. And we do. It's going to be Jenna Charlin going back to the penalty box for the 2nd time today. And this is going to leave the Eagles with a 5-on-3 opportunity, a golden opportunity to try to take a 2-goal lead with under 10 minutes left to go in this 3rd period. Boy, the official call a trip on Jenna Charlin. Looks like David Stockdale wants an explanation from the referees over on his bench. Going to get one quickly, and now the Eagles, they send out Jody Rose, Lily Zoner, Noah Farberman, Karis Kale, and Maddie Noonan, the 5 for Post, but a big defensive zone win for Franklin Pierce, although it's kept in the offensive zone. Lily Zoner over to the slot. Noonan fires away, and that shot gets blocked. Boy, great effort that time. Maggie Cornetta getting her body in front of it. Over to the near side, Jody Rose fires away, and that hit a body, deflected up over the net. Once again, Karis Kale into the slot, and that one's saved by Cornetta. Lily Zoner with the rebound, scores! Lily Zoner gets the Eagles to a 2-goal lead. And her first career goal makes it 3-1 Post. The first power play goal of the season as well for Post University this season. And it feels like finally the Eagles able to break through in so many categories. And who else but some of these young faces. Lily Zoner getting on the board for the first time in her career. And the Eagles up 3-1, still with the woman advantage here for 1 minute and 34 seconds. Marley Webster in her own defensive zone, looking to continue the momentum and enter the offensive end as Post is still on the power play. Emma Hine past the blue line, getting handled by Haley Anderson on the far boards. McCavikis sends it into the far corner where Curry picks it up. And Curry also gets handled into these boards. Boy, physical game all game long, but especially here in the third. McCavikis fires away. Hurdle makes a stop. Rebound chance, and the referees rule it dead. It goes into the back of the net, but they're going to say that Hurdle was covering it up, and they're going to say no goal for the Eagles. You can hear this crowd's reaction. The fans aren't happy about it. And the referees staying strong with the rule, and they're saying that Jill Hurdle covered it up, and that it was poked free of either in between her legs or her glove, and therefore no goal. So Post still on the power play for about a minute here. Emma Hine right at the blue line, gives it off to her teammate. Quick slap shot. And I believe Hurdle had to kick that one back into safety. It was off the stick of McCavikis, who gives it back to Hine. Hine fires away, sticked aside by Hurdle once again. Back in the near boards and able to clear the zone, but not clear it all the way down the ice as FPU. See how quickly Post can re-enter it. 33 seconds left on the power play as the goal gets announced. Lily Zoner's first of the season. And a one-time opportunity, Rose, that puck hit a body. And actually hit Melanie Targus right in front of the net. A good block for the defenseman for FPU. The Eagles elect just to send it back in the offensive zone, get a new 5 out there with only 15 seconds left on the woman advantage. Maddie Noonan, aggressive forecheck here on the power play as we're back to even strength. And for the first time this season, Post capitalizes and scores on the power play. Targus has it on her stick, finds Murphy, looking to exit that zone and does so. Haley Anderson now past the blue line, but gets held up right there. Boy, hard collision. Stevens and Anderson meet right at the blue line. Again, just right place, right time for Georgia Stevens. Didn't look intentional. And here comes Callie Peterson. Peterson, a couple of good stick handles into that far corner, trying to just retain possession against a pair of Ravens defenders. Cornetta has it now. Cornetta for LaRoche. LaRoche tips it forward. Around the boards it goes. Peyton Tully handles a couple of players, including one of her teammates, into the boards. No hands raised once again. It looks like Emma LaRoche very slow to get up and gingerly getting back to the bench. But still, Franklin Pierce able to retain possession for how long, though? Callie Murphy with it. Under 5 left to go. Eagles up by 2. And the question starts to be raised, when does Stockdale decide to pull Jill Hurdle? And when does FPU go to the empty net? Ooh, pass into the slot. Callie Murphy just couldn't get the puck on her stick cleanly. I believe it was Riley Patfield who actually poke-checked that one a little bit away. Another dump in here for Franklin Pierce. Saunders handles it behind her net. Peterson for Cameron, and Cameron looking to break out now while the Ravens get a change in. Oh, up ice pass, nicely played, intended for Peyton Tully. She couldn't handle it cleanly, and out come the Ravens the other way. Ashley Wright able to just tip it forward, racing after it, Hine. And it goes to the stick of Mariana Valeri. Valeri tries to pass it back out toward the blue line. Targus, intended for Valeri again, instead it goes to Levinson. Levinson getting harassed by Jet Devlin, and Peyton Tully takes it away in combination with Jet Devlin. Now to Lula Cameron, bank pass into the offensive zone, and that's going to allow, or not going to allow, the Ravens to empty their net just yet, especially as we tick to under 3:30 now. Really start to take a look at Jill Hurdle and when she makes the move, trailing by 2. Out comes Bo Dean, going one against the world here, almost finding her way around everybody, and Hannah Saunders had a dive on top of it. Boy, Bo Dean, one of the leading point getters in the NUHA this year, and showing why on that possession, was able to get around a pair of Eagle defenders, and Hannah Saunders had a lunge on top of it to cover it up. Defensive zone faceoff for the Eagles coming to the left of Hannah Saunders. Now looks like it's going to go FPU's way. Swenson keeps it in, but for how long? Well, pretty long there as they take a shot and they score! Addison Andre makes it a one-goal game. How about another true freshman getting their first career goal in this game? This time it's Addison Andre. And don't look now, but it's 3-2 post. A freshman from Southpaw, Minnesota, her second point on the year. Actually, her third point on the year, I should say, after she picked an apple up earlier in this game. We're having a quick discussion here with the referees and a couple of the side crew. I believe Addison Andre actually wanted to keep the puck, which of course makes sense. Her first career goal, so why not? I'm sure many others have so far today. So all of a sudden, a 3-2 game, 2:57 left to go in this third period, and we're on the rocky road to the finish here in Shelton, Connecticut. The Eagles win the faceoff immediately, send it all the way down the ice, so Jill Hurdle will settle it down. Right to left go the Ravens, and Andre, who just scored the goal herself, and now with a head of steam, sends it through the crease, but once again, nobody there to collect the pass for Franklin Pierce. Now out come the Eagles the other way. Farberman tries to get around a Raven, gives it for Karis Kale, who takes the tough angled shot. And that one easily stopped into the corner by Jill Hurdle. 3-2, Eagles out in front, but the recent goal from Addison Andre has given Franklin Pierce some momentum, and we reach the final 2 minutes and 18 seconds of this game. Hannah Saunders covering up. There's really nothing Hannah Saunders can do about that last opportunity, and Emma Hine, another one of these leaders on this post team, having a conversation with her captain. Looks like the Franklin Pierce Ravens are going with an empty net here with 2:17 left to go in this third period. 6 skaters on for Franklin Pierce. Emma LaRoche almost able to win the faceoff. Instead, Valeri takes it for Franklin Pierce, and Emma Hine has it now. Hine looking to find a way to get out of the defensive zone and just sends it farther up the ice. Not going to be far enough for an icing, but it's definitely going to take some time off the clock as we've reached under 2 minutes here in the third. Expect to see the top groups out there for both of these teams for most of the rest of the way. Hine with a neutralized interception, almost able to send it on net, just misses a little bit wide. The Eagles get a couple of changes in, and the clock ticks down to 1:40. Going into the offensive zone now. Emma LaRoche fires away right into the body of Hannah Saunders, and she covers it up easily. 1:36 left to go here in this final period. Boy, first time this year that Post University has even seen an empty net on this side of things. So the Eagles looking to find a way to capitalize once again. Already broken a whole bunch of monkeys off their back, so to speak. And it looks like smartly Franklin Pierce is going to take a timeout. Coach Stockdale wants to go over it with his team. So don't go anywhere. 1:36 left to go in this game. Eagles looking to hold on to their 3-2 lead. One minute, 36 seconds left to go in this third period of play as Post looks to hold on to their 1-goal lead and try to secure their first win of the season. 6 skaters on for Franklin Pierce. The net is empty as Hurdle is back on the bench. And a key offensive zone win for the Ravens. Boy, beautiful setup, and the pass across the ice for Cornetta just left a little bit behind her. Puck trickled into that far corner. It's Cornetta once again firing away. Karis Kale gets her body in front of it. Deflects right into the glove of Hannah Saunders. 1:22 left to go here in this third. Boy, what a fun game we have had on our hands today between these two New England Women's Hockey Alliance opponents. Franklin Pierce looking to get back to 500. Try to find a way to tie this game. The Eagles looking for their first win of the season. Hine collects it and sends it around the boards. Not out of the defensive zone yet. Bodine gets taken down to the ground. And the referee raises his hand. It's going to be a tripping penalty coming up on the Eagles. And it'll be 6 skaters on 4 defenders for Franklin Pierce. Boy, we saw the Eagles earlier in this game get on the board for the first time on the power play this season. The Ravens looking to do the same thing. It's Selena Mikavakis with a trip here very late in this game. And Franklin Pierce, who already had momentum on their side, gets a little bit more. They'll go on 6-on-4 for the rest of this game. And now Brandon Brown wants to take a timeout, smartly so. So Selena Mikavakis goes to the box, 1:11 left. 6 skaters, 4 defenders when we get back. So a 2-minute tripping minor assessed to Selena Mikavakis with 1:11 left to go in this game. It's going to leave 6-on-4 with an empty net for Franklin Pierce. Levinson going up against Devlin, and the Eagles come away with the face-off win, send it all the way down the ice, and that's the one thing that the power play does help with, is that they can clear it down the ice. For a second, I thought they couldn't because there was nobody on Franklin Pierce hustling back. I think they might have forgotten that they can't ice the puck in this situation once again. But either way, back in the offensive zone they go. Cornetta swings it down low. Andre fires away, saved by Saunders, and she covers up the loose puck. 45 seconds left to go in this game, and Saunders staying strong in the crease. 3-2 post out in front. Bit of a tense silence going on here, as well as some fans making some loud noise trying to cheer on their respective sides. In the rings at Shelton, it was silent in between the puck drop, and then all of a sudden, fans making a lot of noise as soon as the puck does get dropped. Targus back at the blue line for Abigail Brose, and Brose fires, deflects up into the netting. 28 seconds, we'll say, left to go. They're going to put a few milliseconds back on that clock. Referee seeing if either side wants to get a change in. Looks like Stockdale's going to keep the same 6 out there. Of course, 6-on-4 with the penalty assessed to Selena Mikavakis. So Devlin in there at center, going up against Levinson once again. And a false start's going to be ruled from the far lines judge here. So Devlin has to get out of the circle. It's Tristan Curry in there instead, and Levinson wins the faceoff. Gets it to Brose, but Brose loses possession. Devlin fighting for it, battling against Melanie Targus. Targus wins the battle temporarily, and finally Franklin Pierce comes away with it. 15 seconds left to go. And a whistle and a hand gets raised. A high sticking gets called, and I believe Franklin Pierce is going to the penalty box. Melanie Targus going to be assessed a minor with 12.5 left to go in this game. And boy, that is a momentum killer if you're Franklin Pierce and the Eagles, hoping that that secures their first victory of the season. Franklin Pierce bench once again wants an explanation from the referees, and Jill Hurdle has to get back in the net for Franklin Pierce as the faceoff's going to be in their own defensive zone. So this all of a sudden becomes 4-on-4, except Franklin Pierce has 5 skaters out there. So one of them has to get off the ice, and looks like Mariana Valeri will get off the ice. Again, Melanie Targas assessed the minor. Makes this a 4-on-4 technically, and we'll see for how long. If Franklin Pierce can get possession, which they do, they send it out of their defensive zone. Hurdle still in the net. Not sure when she's going to try to get out of there. 5 seconds left to go. One last push for the Ravens. They send it in deep, and that is going to do it. For the first time this season, the Eagles get a victory as they secure the win 3-2 over Franklin Pierce. What a game it was for Post University. Hannah Saunders gets her first win in net. Felt like a much-needed win for one of the top goaltenders in the nation. Riley Patfield got the Eagles on the board first. Georgia Stevens followed it up. And of course, to finish it off for Post University, it was Lily Zoner tallying her first of her career to make it a 3-1 game at the time. But of course, on the other side of things, it was Mackenzie Grimm getting on the board first for Franklin Pierce University, and Addison Andre getting her first goal of her career to make it a close game in the end, 3-2. But ultimately, the Eagles and Brandon Brown secure their first win of the season. They're about to salute their fans here at home. And don't go anywhere, as we have our post-game show coming up next, but also our interviews with the players of the game. So once again, it's the Eagles with a 3-2 victory, and the interviews coming up next here as you've been watching Post University Women's Hockey. welcome back into the Sports Center of Connecticut as the Eagles have secured their first win of the season, 3-2 over the Franklin Pierce University Ravens. Let's break down how it happened today. It all started in the first period. It was the visitors getting on the board first. Mackenzie Grimm with her first of the season made it 1-0 in favor of the bad guys, but Riley Patfield evened it up only about 10 minutes later. Her first of the season. Jody Rose and Georgia Stevens both getting their first points as well as assists. And Georgia Stevens actually got her second point of the season thanks to that goal scored early in the second period. Made it 2-1 Eagles. Lily Zoner on the power play in the third made it 3-1. Both Stevens and Zoner collecting their first career goals as true freshmen for Post University. Of course, Addison Andre made it very close at the end of the game with a goal late and an empty net goal, and then we had a couple of power plays trading back and forth. It was 6-on-5, and then 6-on-4, 4-on-4, 5-on-4, but ultimately the Eagles held on to secure the victory by a score of 3-2. Overall in this game, standing out, it's got to be Georgia Stevens collecting 2 points, the goal and the assist. Hannah Saunders played a great game as well, stopping 24 of 26 shots faced from Franklin Pierce. Not to mention Jill Hurdle was great in net for the Ravens, but somewhat struggled there in that third, letting in 2 of 11 shots faced in the third period. Overall in the day, letting in 3 of 23. So we'll be back with our interviews with Georgia Stevens, Lily Zoner, and possibly head coach Brandon Brown as well after his first career win. So don't go anywhere, as our interviews with our players of the game coming up next as you've been watching Post University Women's Hockey. And thank you so much for joining us, Eagles fans, and thank you for joining us, Coach Brandon Brown. What a victory today. Your first career victory. Congratulations to you.
Yeah, thank you very much.
What a game this was. The Ravens came out, led shots on goal 7-0 in the first period, but almost immediately you guys flipped it right back, and actually at the end of the first period led in that department, continued to carry that momentum, it felt like, through the rest of the game. So just tell me about how you handled that first surge and really just how you guys garnered that momentum throughout the game, offensively especially.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it coming into it. They were going to come with a push after the game that they played yesterday. You know, we kind of felt like they got away with one yesterday with how we played, and we knew we had to weather the storm a little bit for those first little bit. And I mean, credit to the girls, right? We were able to flip the switch and kind of weather that storm a little bit, and I thought from that point on we kind of took control there.
Yeah, absolutely. And a couple of those girls, Georgia Stevens, Lily Zoner, are notching their first career goals. It seemed like the freshmen in general today played a huge part offensively, defensively, on the forecheck as well. I mean, Lily Zoner, I saw, made a couple of great plays, as well as not just freshmen, but new faces, right? Emma Hine was all over the ice, it felt like, defensively. So what can you tell us just about those, how the new faces really impacted the game today?
Yeah, I mean, they were huge, right? They stepped up at a big time when we needed it the most. And I mean, you see it every day in practice where, you know, you see that there's something there, and you're just kind of waiting for that time bomb to go off of when it's going to click for them for it to go a little bit. And, you know, lucky for us, we had two of them get it today, and, you know, it's huge for them and their confidence and going forward here. So congrats to them.
And how good did it feel to finally get, you know, multiple pucks in the back of the net in the game? As you mentioned yesterday, out shooting, out face-offing, out penaltying, if that's even a word, right? Like, it felt like you were doing everything right, but just couldn't quite take advantage of the opportunities. Today, getting 3 in the back of the net must have felt great.
Yeah, it's huge. It's huge for our group too, right? Like, we've been talking about it. Like, it's gonna come eventually, right? We've been doing the right things. It's funny. I was telling our assistant coaches, Larry and Shelby, earlier. We felt like we're watching the same game over and over again the last couple. So it was exciting to get a couple to go. We knew we've been doing the right things offensively, and, you know, just waiting for chances. And for us, it was about being patient and sticking with what we're trying to do and our game plan, and the execution just was nice to come today.
Yeah, absolutely. It certainly looked like it on the ice, and the fans certainly seemed to appreciate it as well. I want to ask you, it seemed like pretty much the entire, and I could be wrong, but a lot of the men's hockey team was here. A lot of your friends, a lot of your teammates from, you know, not that long ago, only a couple of years ago. So can you just say what that was like to have that support from them, from the fans in general, and how it might have lifted you guys today to scoring 3 goals?
Yeah, I mean, we talk about it in our room all the time of the importance of home ice, right? So important to take care of business at home, and happy to do that today. And obviously, you know, I've been working on the men's staff for the last number of years, and to see those guys here and then to have them come up to me after the game was very special. Those guys mean a lot to me. I'm always rooting for them, and I'm in their corner for anything they need. So, yeah, very exciting today for have them here, and a good crowd on hand as well.
Yeah, really good crowd, making a lot of noise, especially in that third period. I almost never tend to notice that things when I'm calling it, and I really noticed it in the third. Last question for you, Coach. In net, Hannah Saunders, someone you've worked very closely with, getting her first win of the season, looked tremendous once again, and neither of those 2 goals you can really put against her, so to speak. So just what does it mean for her to get this monkey off your back, so to speak, and notch that first win?
Yeah, it's huge. Hannah's been playing some great hockey for us. I don't think you can really fault her on many of the goals that have gone in this year. So nice for her to step in there and get a big win for us. I mean, she made some really huge saves for us, especially in that second period and in that third period a little bit when things got a little hairy. So super excited for her. I mean, she's a backbone a little bit. She gives our team a chance every night. So huge for her to get a win today.
Coach, congratulations again on the first one. It was great talking to you.
Thank you.
And we'll be back hopefully soon with Georgia Stevens and Lily Zoner, I believe. So don't go anywhere, Post fans. All right, Eagles fans, welcome in. I'm joined by one of our two players of the game, Lily Zoner, and congratulations, Lily. What a game this was today, finding the victory 3-2, and obviously it was your goal that ended up being the game-winning goal at the end. So what does that feel like? First career goal, first career win, just all the big firsts in today's game.
Yeah, it's incredible. It's just an amazing feeling, and now we'll have momentum to go and move forward in the game.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. Let's talk about the fans here today a little bit. It was a big crowd, maybe the biggest you guys have had so far this season. A lot of guys from the men's hockey team here as well to support. Just what did that mean in terms of lifting you guys up and, getting you guys to that 3-goal total?
Yeah, it was great to see people watching and come cheer us on. And yeah, it just brought us momentum throughout the game.
Yeah, 100%. Last question for you, Lily.
Yeah.
Especially as a defender, what did it mean for your group of defensemen and for Hannah Saunders back there to really have just a strong game, limiting the shots on goal, limiting the grade A opportunities, and ultimately coming away with what felt like a defensive win at the end of the day?
Yeah, it was a defensive win. We felt awesome. We had a good, strong defensive game and offensively, but both was amazing.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for taking the time. Congratulations again on your first win, and we'll be joined by Georgia Stevens in just a quick moment.
Thank you.
Welcome back, Eagles fans. I'm joined with our second player of the game, Georgia Stevens, and congratulations. Also, first career win, first career goal in this game. Just tell me, how does it feel to get those monkeys off your back and get all those firsts out of the way today?
Yeah, it feels huge. I felt like we were right on the edge the past few games, and to finally get it now is a really big momentum builder for our team.
Yeah, 100%. Against an in-conference opponent, a tough opponent, especially after yesterday's game where it felt like you guys were winning in almost every statistical category, finally able to take advantage today. How much of that today, I asked Lily Zoner the same question, was that your fans today, you think? I mean, it was the biggest crowd you've had so far this year. The men's hockey team came out and supported. Just what did that mean for the group today?
Yeah, I felt like it definitely built the environment up, and the atmosphere and everything, they definitely got us going. And all the noise banging on the glass, that just gets us more fired up as well.
Yeah, 100%. As a freshman, as a young skater and a young team, what does it mean for so many freshmen to be contributing both off the ice, and on the stat sheet today especially? Does that give you guys momentum, confidence moving forward?
Definitely. I feel like it gives our team the hope that we have the potential and opportunities to do that with our young team.
Last question for you. Brandon Brown, almost as young as a lot of your teammates on this squad. So his first career win, what does that mean for the cohesion of the team going forward, momentum going forward, to help lift a young coach and get his first victory as well as the team's first victory?
Yeah, I feel like that's huge. We finally got our first win with all the freshmen and our first win with Coach Brown. And I feel like we'll just keep going up from there.
Absolutely. Well, Georgia, thank you so much for the time. Congratulations again. Lily, congratulations. And for our Eagles fans, that's going to do it for us today. It was a 3-2 post-victory here in Shelton. We'll be back next week, I believe. But until then, have a good week, everybody, and have a good night.